You're watching Expressions, your number one youth current affairs show. This is definitely the place for you to air your views. We continue to commemorate Youth Month. And as you can see, we are on location in Sandton City, that is regarded the richest square mile in Africa, which is an appropriate location for us as we talk about youth development in this country. I am your host, Jacqueline Mapala.
And I'm your host, Mkolisi Masango. Can young people champion their own development? That's the big question. Expressions do partake in this all-important discussion in Gunden Zetu Zokumana. We've compiled some very intriguing conversations for you, Mundomosha, with some great young people. Have a look at this.
I do believe that young people can develop themselves in business.
We're in a country where there isn't much employment, so the youth having businesses will be creating employment for South Africans, leading up to a better country for everyone.
If only youth can get funding and proper things that they could use or they could utilize so that they can develop themselves in the industry.
I do believe that young people can develop themselves in business. Reason being, as young people, we are afforded more opportunities compared to the past.
With the right resources and motivation from those surrounding them, they can put their minds, they can do whatever they put their mind to, and they can make a really big difference for themselves and for others.
I think with businesses, you can succeed and you don't work for anybody. You're going to be working for yourself. That's prospering at the end of the day.
I believe they can make their own business by studying business economics and accounting, and everyone can be independent and anyone can get employed.
Everyone wants to live a nice life, not like a normal life. So I think with a business, everything is in your control and you're working harder for yourself.
We're still young. We can do things in a nice way. We just need guidance, people who can guide us, tell us how to do things, and then we can be the best in our own thing.
If they believe in themselves, anything is possible.
You're watching Expressions, your number one youth current affairs show. We continue to put a very important and special spotlight on the issue around youth development as we commemorate Youth Month. Now we are on location in Woodmead. Now we are going to put a spotlight on a very extraordinary young person who has started their own business, and actually they started their own male grooming business. I'm talking about Jonathan Umabwe, and we're going to go inside and meet him. But most importantly, we're going to be asking him how exactly is he championing his own development. Let's go inside and have a chat with him. Jonathan, a very warm welcome to Expressions. Thank you so very much for giving us the time and sitting down and having this chat with us. But I think let's start right from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about Black Njebe.
Black Njebe actually came to me at a point in my life when I'd lost everything. I reached a point in my life when I went through a period of divorce, and I lost everything that I had, and I literally didn't know what to do with my life. I was just walking around on the streets of Randburg, and I decided that, okay, what do I have that I can, I need to do something. I was tired of knocking on doors and not getting an answer. I was tired of looking for jobs and not getting a way through. And I said, okay, cool, I have a good beard, and there's products that I use for my beard. Why not just package this thing and start to market it out into the world? And that's exactly what I did. I went into my kitchen. I'll never forget, I went into my kitchen, I started putting together my products, and literally within the first week, I did like about 12 products. Within the first week, I sold out. And from then, it's just been glory to glory. Like, things just started pushing from there. Now we're focusing on opening a chain of salons. It's been so surprising how the company has grown to the point where we are able to proudly say that we have at least 8 people who are surviving off the brand, who are our sales marketers, who go out there, push the products, and make a living off the products. This is now growing into a space where we see ourselves having way more people coming on board. Yeah.
So on the show, our poll question is, we're asking whether young people can actually champion their own development. And I just want to find out from you, do you believe and feel that young people can actually champion their own development?
Yes. Young people can definitely champion their own development. I think as young people, we don't need to wait on anybody. We don't need to wait on government. We don't need to wait on our families in order for us to stand up and say, I am doing something. You know, the one thing that people told me is that it's just a beard oil. It's not like I'm starting a bank. It's not like I'm starting anything big, you know, but I saw the potential in the product. And that has literally transformed my life. The life I live right now is not the life that I lived back then. And it's such a blessed life from just a basic beard oil. So young people, I really feel that we have the power to stand up. We have the power to take what we have in our hand, as small as it is. If it's starting a business that sells ice, let's do that. If it's starting a business that sells beard oil, whatever it is, you know, standing up and actually saying, what can I do? How can I grow it? And taking that first step.
So Jonathan, we're commemorating Youth Month, and as a young person who is a mover and a shaker, who's redefining and shaping the space that you're in, and obviously championing your own development, what does this month mean for you?
So firstly, for me, Youth Month means remembering what the people who came before us have done. You know, opening this, you know, I always imagine the way I operate and the way I move around from place to place, pushing my brand, that would never have been possible if people in the past did not stand up and say, if the youth from the past did not stand up and say, okay, you know, we want freedom, we want to be heard, you know. So now I'm able to walk into boardrooms, I'm able to walk into spaces and places where people can hear me. So for me, it's firstly remembering those who stood up for my freedom. Secondly, Youth Month for me is also remembering that I have the power. You know, I have the power to do something. I have the power to make a change. And as small as it is, day by day, whatever I do, I can stand up and say, okay, I can change the future.
And just in closing, Jonathan, there's so many young people right now who are feeling hopeless. We know that the youth unemployment rate is off the charts right now, and COVID has affected a lot of their livelihoods. What words of wisdom and inspiration can you share with them, just to obviously allow them to see their own light and to sort of be inspired and feel that, you know, there is a future that is worth fighting for?
Firstly, I know what it is to sit in a space where you don't have hope. I know what it is to sit and think and not know what to do going forward. So firstly, I want to say I understand. But my words of encouragement is, you don't need to look too far. What is it that you have in your hands? You know, take that. You know, it doesn't need to be a product. It could be your skill, whatever it is. Take that. Focus onto the future. Visualize what you want to see in life and make it happen.
And that was Jonathan Mabwe, who reminded us that actually youth entrepreneurship is actually a viable career path for young people in this country. But I think a very important and vital instrument for championing youth development in this country. And I hope, Kokaye, you are inspired to maybe start something new. Who knows? Maybe you can start your own business. Now, you are watching Expressions, your #1 youth current affairs show. We'll be back right after this.
So welcome back. You're still watching Expressions, your #1 youth current affairs show. Now, namhlanje ke siyabuza muntu omusha, can young people champion their development? That's the big question esibuzayo namhlanje, and we're all feeding off the spirit of the youth of 1976. So have a look at the next conversation that we're having.
Now, we are on location in Parkhurst. We're going to be putting a very important and special spotlight on a very extraordinary young person who's not only just championing development, but creating employment for other young people. Let's go inside and meet Khudi, who is the owner of Goody Tutors. Let's go meet him. Khudi, a very warm welcome to Expressions. Thank you so very much for sitting down with us and having this chat. We want to just find out, how exactly did you get into this particular business?
Firstly, I had good results from my matric and I got myself here in Joburg being broke, right? So I needed to make some extra cash for myself. So I started conducting tutoring lessons for students in the area that I was in. And then I later realized that this could be a big business and I could make such a big impact and also create employment for a lot of South African youth. And that's what I did. I changed my mind and changed my mindset and turned this into a business that it is today.
So we just want to find out, how many young people are you currently employing here at Goody Tutors?
So we employ quite a number of people, mainly students. So we have a lot of tutors that are university students all over the country. We're averaging 250, 300 tutors all over the country that we're employing. These are the students that are going to the client every single day or weekend to conduct our lessons. And here at the office, we have over, I think, around 7 full-time employees.
What would you say are some of the challenges that you experienced when you started the business, but I think most importantly currently right now, 5 years into it?
So some of the challenges that we experienced when I started Goody Tutors was mainly, I think, being taken seriously as a young person, you know, for people to believe in, you know, the brand that we're building, but the work that we're doing, right? Because you can remember that, you know, tutoring, it deals with education, and parents are very careful with their kids' education, right? So to take someone like Goody, who's 18 when he started Goody Tutors, seriously about your kids' education is a bit tough. But I think over the years, we've built onto the brand, we've built onto our credibility, and we're working with a number of JSE-listed companies that use our company to provide tutoring sessions for the CSI.
As we celebrate and commemorate Youth Month, I just want to find out for you, what does this month mean to you?
Youth Month, I think it's that 1 month that everybody has to focus on just the youth, right? I think for all the other months, we focus on a whole host of things, but we forget and we neglect the youth. And the youth has a huge impact, you know, in the South African economy. There's so much that the youth can put into the economy and can make the country do well. So Youth Month basically just says it's our time as the youth to take up the space. It's our time. This time of the month is our time for us to showcase our businesses, to showcase our achievements, to showcase our struggles, so that everybody can be aware of what we're going through and help us where we need help.
So, you know, Goody, you've been running this business for about 5 years. You're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur. I want to find out from you, how does it feel to be a young person that is actually creating employment opportunities in this country?
I always want to create more and more jobs for the youth, because I understand, you know, that South African youth just need a chance, right, for them to do very well. And for me, my job and my goal is to always give them, you know, that opportunity for them to grow and for them to build and be successful later on.
So do you think that young people can actually champion their own development?
I think young people have it in themselves to become great. I think it's just a matter of the light bulb that has to switch in their mind at a certain point. For some it's earlier, for some it comes in late. But it's just that point where the youth now start to take things in their own hands and stop depending on the government and its agencies for employment and that. At this age, there's so much that we can do because we have the flexibility and we can make mistakes and we can learn from those mistakes because we still have time. So I think it's just for us, the youth, to realize that this is the time for us to start building, to start investing, to start saving, to building businesses and all of that, not the time to consume. This is a time for production. And then we can reap the rewards when we are, you know, older.
You know, we know that COVID has affected many businesses across this country, and I just want to find out from you, how has COVID affected your business?
I think we're one of the fortunate businesses that were able to operate in the COVID era. We do all our lessons online. We were able to work remotely. So actually our business did much better in COVID times, and even our revenues went up, and we got contracts with a couple of companies for us to provide tutoring solution to their students. So COVID was quite good for us actually.
Hudi, as we commemorate Youth Month, we know that it's a challenging and difficult time for young people out there. The unemployment rates have gone through the roof. And as a young person who is making an impact in this space and you're reshaping it and redefining it, what words of encouragement and inspiration can you share with other young people out there who just need that positivity?
My words of inspiration for the youth, especially this month, I think it's just start now, right? Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait to have your ducks in a row. Don't wait to get capital. Don't wait to do anything. Just with whatever you have, start now, right? I think one thing that I'm grateful for is the decision that I took 5 years ago when I started Beauty Tutors, where I had to sleep in my office for a whole year for this business to be able to run because I didn't have funds for rent and all of that. And that's one thing I'm grateful for, is the fact that I started with what I had, and look at us today. So I think for the youth, regardless of where you are, with anything that you have, just start now and you'll be grateful at a later stage.
Being hired by a young person, I must say, is very inspiring and motivating because when you look at a person like Freddie who is young, you see, wow, he's accomplished a lot. So in my space now, I know that I need to push myself to get where he is as well. It takes hard work and determination to ensure that you accomplish your long-term goals, short-term goals. So yeah.
To finally have a job is amazing, but being hired by a young person, and not only being hired by a young person, but working with other young people sort of motivates me to do better, to push myself, amongst my peers. And it's amazing that we are on the same level mentally, so we think the same way in a way, and we are able to help each other where one lacks. So we sort of counterpart each other. So that is great, yeah.
It's very exciting when this month comes around because you get to see what each young person is doing. And it's very exciting because when people think about young people, they think, oh no, they're just going to waste their time, they're going to party, or whatever the case may be. But it's not about that. It's don't look down on that person because they are young. They have so much to bring to the economy, to the country.
I believe that young people can champion their own development, especially now. We have access to a lot of things. We have access to the internet, such as us. We have both started our YouTube channels, and I believe that helps in our development. It will help us grow, learn as we go. But most importantly, being able to use the resources around us to be who we want to be, and we always want to grow. And it is great to grow now, so that when you are older, you know that you have accomplished a lot in your youth.
Hoodie is indeed a perfect and powerful symbolism as well as representation of what it means for young people to rise up as they champion their own development. We continue with this also important conversation after the break. You are watching Expressions. We'll be back.
Now we are asking the big question with Expressions namhlanje. Can young people champion their own development? What do you think? Do partake in this all important conversation. We continue with our conversations with young people making a change. Have a look at this insert.
Now we are on location in Woodmead. We are at the headquarters of the NYDA, the National Youth Development Agency. We're going to be speaking to their CEO, Wasim Karim, and we're going to be asking him, can young people actually champion their own development? Let's go inside and have a chat with him. Wasim, a very, very warm welcome to Expressions, and thank you so very much for sitting down with us and just having this chat. And I think just as a start, we just want to understand, what is the role of the NYDA in facilitating youth development in the country?
When a young person is unemployed, they often lose hope for the future. They have very little economic security. They're unable to plan and develop themselves. So we've made our primary focus around youth unemployment, not only implementing programs aimed at tackling youth unemployment, but coordinating the broader sectoral involvement in curbing youth unemployment. Yeah? Now, there's no one silver bullet that can address this, but we utilize multiple strategies, whether they be pathways into decent work for young people, whether it be youth entrepreneurship, national youth service programs, workplace-based experience programs, to really create these kind of pathways for young people into opportunities that aims to address the high levels of youth unemployment in the country.
Wasim, how has the NYDA actually assisted young people, especially during COVID and during the lockdown, especially now that we are looking at the third wave?
We realize that as much as we support startup entrepreneurs, there was a real need for relief to young entrepreneurs. We felt that small businesses were being supported through different interventions, but micro businesses, a lot of them run by young people, there wasn't really a niche initiative targeted at them. So we put together the Youth Micro Enterprise Relief Fund. We assisted close to 1,200 entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, with a once-off grant to be able to just support them through the lockdown, get a little bit of money to their landlords or to their employees or to their suppliers, just to keep their businesses alive during that really difficult period when people were unable to trade during the lockdown. So I think that was an exciting mechanism. I think it provided a high level of support to young people, and it was important in keeping small businesses alive, which we know are so important to the South African economy.
As probably one of the youngest CEOs in the country, we want to find out from you, leading obviously a youth development agency, what does June Youth Month actually mean to you?
We can never discount that generation of young people's contribution to South Africa's democracy and their fight for equal access to education and opportunities. I think their spirit lives through all of us in future generations, and it influences what we're able to do in this country. It's important when we face crises like this, whether it be COVID-19 or unemployment, that we draw on the spirit of that generation in helping us find the solutions to the challenges that we face today, and I think that's so important, and understanding and reflecting on that history is pivotal for our young people and for this generation and future generations to come.
Do you believe that young people in this country can actually champion their own development?
We encourage young people to participate in national and local government elections, right? We encourage young people to contribute to policy development. We encourage young people to reach out to local government, attend their budget votes, hold councillors accountable, hold the NYDA accountable, right? But I think we must also reflect that when we keep young people on the margins of society, where we deny them access to opportunities, we do make it challenging for them to build, because we take away the energy and passion that young people have, right? So as much as we want young people to be participatory in nature, government must provide meaningful opportunities for them to do it. And I think that's why we think the strategies that we've put in place, whether it be the National Pathway Management Network or Revitalized National Youth Service, those are things that are aiming to unlock the latent potential of our young people, and really make them active participants in their own development in the country. So it's a meeting of government and young people at the proverbial bridge.
So we've come to the end of today's episode, and I was just truly inspired, about young people out there who are making it happen. These are young people who, despite the challenges that we're facing, whether it's COVID, whether it's a third wave, whether it's lockdown, they are truly making sure that they progress and they move forward. Because I think everything about Youth Month is truly about young people taking charge and agency of their own future. And how appropriate is it that we are literally in Sandton right now? It is the richest square mile in Africa, but I think the riches and value that is going to come from spaces like this are definitely going to be from young people, their contribution, their innovation more than anything else, right, Mko?
Definitely, Jackie. And I certainly also had so much fun and got inspired as well listening to those conversations that you were having namhlanje with our guests on the show. And we thank you so much for sharing your stories with us now. We all do know, which we all feed off the spirit of the youth of 1976. From all of us here at Expressions, till next time, in Salegahle.
Bye. Adios, Mr.